some crazy misogynist engineered The View, because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of like, there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way.
You're seeing this, not just waste. You could call it waste, but it's deeper. It's deeper than waste. It's corruption. And you're seeing that corruption get weeded out. I am hoping that this is successful and that it yields a benefit to the American people, to the working class people, to everybody, where they recognize, like, hey, we can't just be spending all our tax money on nonsense.
Tides have shifted, and now the show is on life support, struggling to survive. What we're witnessing isn't just a setback, it's a reckoning. After years of throwing punches at powerful figures, the very same TV show now finds itself trapped in its own web of controversy. With over 30 defamation lawsuits piling up, it's no longer the one delivering the blows, it's the one taking them.
I have no problem with people, performing. Carrie Underwood performed and said, listen, it's not political for me. I love my country.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here.
At first, The View tried to brush off the controversy, treating it like just another media storm, something they could weather as they had countless times before. But this time, the stakes were much higher. The backlash wasn't just noise, it came with real legal consequences. The lawsuits weren't empty threats, they were serious, and ABC's legal team quickly realized they were facing a major problem. Defamation lawsuits can be difficult to prove, but when false accusations are at the center, the risks skyrocket. As legal fees piled up and advertisers began pulling out, the network found itself in a financial crisis. ABC executives had a choice: keep the show running and risk multi-million-dollar legal settlements, or pull the plug before things spiraled further out of control. In the end, they made the tough call. The View was suspended indefinitely. This wasn't just a temporary pause, it was a full shutdown. ABC issued a carefully worded statement claiming they were reevaluating the show's direction and taking the concerns seriously. But behind the scenes, insiders say network executives were in panic mode, realizing they had made a costly misstep. Meanwhile, Whoopi Goldberg was furious. Sources say she saw the suspension as a direct attack, not just on the show, but on her personally. She reportedly blamed cancel culture, calling it an unfair takedown fueled by political agendas. In her view, this wasn't about accountability, it was about silencing voices. Now, the big question is, can The View survive this? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of daytime television's most controversial shows? What do you think? Was this suspension justified, or is The View being unfairly targeted? Drop your thoughts below. This conversation is far from over.
Words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected.
For years, Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts on The View have built their brand on bold claims and fiery debates, often without hard evidence to back them up. Whether it was targeting Donald Trump, Elon Musk, or even an unexpected name like Carrie Underwood, the show never seemed too concerned about the consequences. But here's the reality. When you start throwing accusations at powerful figures with the resources to fight back, sooner or later, the legal battles begin. And now, that moment has arrived. The View isn't just dealing with a handful of angry celebrities threatening legal action, it's staring down the barrel of a full-blown legal storm. Over 30 defamation lawsuits and counting. And as for Whoopi Goldberg, this time she might not walk away unscathed. The question now is, can The View weather this storm? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of daytime TV's most controversial talk shows?
You know, when you're a certain age, you use words that you know from when you were a kid or you remember saying, and that's what I did today, and I shouldn't have. I should have thought about it a little longer before I said it, but I didn't. And I should have said cheated, and I used another word, and I'm really, really sorry.
Whoopi Goldberg has stirred controversy once again, this time by twisting facts in ways that some say cross the line into outright false accusations. But now, the people she's targeted are fighting back, and they're not just looking for an apology. They're after financial damages, their reputations restored, and some speculate even her entire career. What started as a few legal warnings has now snowballed into something far more serious. High-profile figures, including Elon Musk, Musk, Donald Trump, and even some unexpected players are reportedly taking action against the View's unchecked claims. And trust me, if things keep escalating at this rate, we might be witnessing the beginning of the end for the show as we know it. So how did it all spiral out of control? Let's break it down, starting with the two most powerful figures leading the charge: Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
And as we speak, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has full access to the U.S. Treasury federal payment system, and Democrats are ringing the alarm bell.
Elon Musk invested, almost $300 million that we know of on the Donald Trump campaign. Yesterday, Senator Klobuchar made a joke. She said, what's the difference between Donald Trump and Greenland? Greenland isn't for sale.
Elon Musk has often found himself in The View's crosshairs, with Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts regularly taking aim at his leadership of Twitter, his companies, and even his personal life. But this time, Musk isn't letting it slide. He's hitting back.
Good karma, you know? That's what I was thinking at the time. I was two tables away from Trump, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, this is too much.
After securing a staggering $80 million victory in his lawsuit against Whoopi Goldberg, Elon Musk isn't slowing down. He has now launched fresh defamation lawsuits against The View, accusing the show of spreading misleading and damaging claims about him and his companies. And let's be honest, Musk has the financial firepower, the legal muscle, and the resources to turn this into an all-out legal war for Whoopi and ABC. But buckle up, this battle is about to get even more chaotic. Musk isn't the only one ready to take The View to court. Donald Trump and his wife are reportedly preparing their own legal action. And here's the irony. Remember when The View used to celebrate Trump back in his business mogul days? He was a welcomed guest on their panel, often praised and entertained. But fast forward to today, and he's one of their most frequent targets, with two of the most influential and controversial figures in the world coming after The View. This could be the biggest legal showdown in the show's history. Will ABC stand firm, or is the pressure too great to ignore? One thing is certain, the drama is only beginning. What do you think? Is this a justified fight against media bias, or is it just another high-stakes celebrity feud? Drop your thoughts below. This conversation is far from over.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be.
So if he's sending all the criminals away, where is he going?
The US president isn't brushing these remarks aside. Far from it. His legal team has been quietly building a case against The View for years, meticulously compiling every potentially defamatory statement. Now, they're gearing up to take the fight to the courtroom. But here's where things get even more intense. Trump's lawsuits aren't just about legal sparring. If this case gains momentum, Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts might find themselves with nowhere to hide. And it doesn't stop there. It's not just Trump and Musk preparing for battle. Hollywood insiders and major players in the music industry are also turning their backs on The View. When powerhouses from all corners of entertainment start lining up against you, one thing's for sure, you're in serious trouble.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are.
And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
No one saw this coming. Carrie Underwood is taking The View to court. Yes, you heard that right. Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts may have thought they could say whatever they wanted without repercussions, but this time they underestimated the wrong person. It all began when Joy Behar made a bold and unverified claim about Carrie, implying that her support for Trump was a betrayal of her country. With no evidence to back it up, Behar casually tossed the accusation into the conversation, assuming it would go unchallenged. But Carrie Underwood wasn't about to let that slide. Unlike most celebrities who fire back on social media, she chose a different battlefield: the courtroom. According to legal filings, the country music superstar is suing The View for millions in damages, arguing that Behar's alleged remarks have caused both emotional and financial harm. This lawsuit could have serious serious consequences, not just for The View, but for the broader conversation around media responsibility and defamation. Will ABC stand by its co-hosts, or will this legal battle force them into damage control? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. What do you think? Is Carrie Underwood right to take legal action, or is this just another celebrity feud blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts below.
She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon.
Country music fans are fiercely loyal, and any hit to an artist's reputation can have lasting repercussions. That's exactly why Carrie Underwood isn't backing down. Her lawsuit claims that Joy Behar's remarks weren't just off base. They were deliberately crafted to damage her career. And in defamation cases, intent is everything. If Carrie can prove that The View knowingly spread falsehoods or acted with reckless disregard for the truth, ABC and Joy Behar could be staring down a massive legal battle with a hefty payout at stake. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Carrie's lawsuit has ignited a firestorm. Other country artists are now stepping forward, accusing The View of a pattern of bias and unfair treatment toward musicians who don't align with their political stance. Some are even hinting at launching their own legal fights. And if you thought this controversy was about to cool down, think again. Up next is a man who never walks away from a fight, and he's ready to take this battle to the next level.
This is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupid statement.
If you know Joe Rogan, you know he doesn't back down. He's built a reputation on speaking his mind, calling out hypocrisy wherever he sees it, but it seems Whoopi Goldberg thought she could take a shot at him without facing any pushback. During a heated segment on The View, Whoopi didn't hold back. She branded Rogan as dangerous and irresponsible, accusing his podcast of spreading harmful misinformation. Now, let's be real. This isn't the first time Rogan has faced criticism, but this time, Whoopi's words may have just put her in the hot seat.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail.
Joe Rogan isn't just a podcaster, he's an empire. With a brand worth millions and a reach that far exceeds The View, he's a force to be reckoned with. So when Whoopi Goldberg took a shot at him, she wasn't just criticizing a guy behind a microphone, she was going up against a global powerhouse. But Rogan wasn't about to let it slide. He hit back hard, exposing The View's own track record of controversial and misleading statements. He called out their hypocrisy, revisited past scandals, and reminded his audience that the show itself has been accused of spreading misinformation on multiple occasions, and he didn't stop there. In a bold move, Rogan filed a defamation lawsuit against The View, arguing that their comments had damaged his reputation and brand. But here's where things get interesting. He's got the receipts. His legal team has compiled clips of the show making provably false claims about him, setting the stage for what could be a legal nightmare for Whoopi and her co-hosts. Now the question is, will this lawsuit expose The View's double standards, or will the show manage to dodge the fallout? One thing's certain, this battle is far from over.
No one ever committed to doing it. This is like really important because they keep pretending that I lied or I did this or I did that. They never committed to doing it. Well, we went through, I've got a whole, we have all the receipts, by the way.
Of course.
I have a whole list of conversations that took place. They never said she was going to do it. So this whole idea that we over and then we over for Trump, incorrect. Just not true.
When you're drowning in lawsuits, facing relentless public outrage, and watching advertisers abandon ship, there's really only one inevitable outcome, and that's exactly what happened. The View has been suspended. ABC simply couldn't ignore the crisis any longer. With legal battles involving Carrie Underwood, Joe Rogan, and a growing wave of celebrities joining the fight, the network had no choice but to pull the plug. At least for now. The backlash from fans only made matters worse, turning this into a full-blown PR catastrophe. And as for Whoopi Goldberg, this might just be the biggest blow to her career yet. Could this controversy mark the end of her time in the spotlight? What do you think about The View's sudden shutdown? Was it justified, or did ABC cave under pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This debate is far from over.